House will come to order. Messages from the Senate.
Message from the Senate. This is the Heintzeman motion. Mr. Speaker, I hereby announce that the Senate has concurred in and adopted the report of the Conference Committee on Senate File Number 550, an act relating to natural resources. Message is signed Cal R. Loonan, Secretary of the Senate. The report is addressed to the Honorable Michelle L. Fischbach, President of the Senate, and the Honorable Kurt L. Doudt, Speaker of the House. We, the undersigned conferees for Senate File Number 550, report that we've agreed upon the items in dispute and recommend as follows. The Conference Committee report is signed by all three conferees on the part of the Senate and two of the three conferees on the part of the House. Heintzeman moves that the report of the Conference Committee on Senate File Number 550 be adopted and that the bill be repassed as amended by the Conference Committee.
I recognize the author, Representative Heintzeman, who will explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker. I have a few highlights of changes from the bill compared to when it left the House. It appropriates $64 million, approximately $5 million more than when it left the House. This is due to there being different projects added back in. $5 million appropriated in fiscal year 2019 for CREP. Added back are several of the original LCCMR recommendations. Highlights include youth education programs, such as developing youth watershed stewardship in Northwest Minnesota. One of the projects that was mentioned on the floor last time, Raptor Center education, as well as interactive water resource programs at planetariums. The bill retains a good portion of funding for CREP, which was a House position, $6 million for CREP outreach, $13.5 million for easement acquisition. This Conference Committee report represents compromise on both sides, the House and the Senate, and is a good bill. I urge a green vote.
Discussion to the Conference Committee report. Member from Hennepin, Representative Wagenius.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Representative Heintzeman. You know, Minnesota has a history of reaching out to citizens. And after all, we're a government of, by, and for the people. The citizens who volunteer for LCCMR are experts in their field. And they just don't volunteer for hours in an afternoon or even a day or a weekend. It's many, many days, and it's all day. I worry that when we say we want to engage citizens in our democracy and then turn around and when they have put their heart and soul into something, not respect what they have done. That's not engaging citizens in a democracy. You're right, the cuts to the projects are not as severe as those that went out. And that I appreciate. The ones that came back in are all good. But I do want to point out some of the problems that still remain. And the first I would like to talk about is the County Geologic Atlas. The money was cut by over $2 million. And here's the issue there. For many of you, you may not know what the Atlas does, but it is looking at the water resources that we have county by county. And right now, county governments, local governments are asking for their counties to have an atlas to understand what's going on underground and how what's going underground relates to what's going on in the surface. And obviously, if we are maintaining our aquifers. So with the full funding, these are the counties that would have been served and would have gotten a geologic atlas, and that's St. Louis, Lake, Olmsted, Dodge, Cass, Aiken, Hennepin, Rock, Noble, and Candy, Ohio. This work is highly technical. The Atlas Group hires geologists, trains them for a year before they are sent out to be on their own. Highly technical, very difficult work, and yet with this $2,700,000 cut, I am afraid we're going to see layoffs. So that is one of the problems I see in the bill. The next, of course, is one we've talked about on the floor, another really practical project for Minnesota, and that's the one that takes the satellite data, brings it down to a 3 by 3 square mile using the U's supercomputer, so the U can project, not weather, but whether we're going to expect intense rainfall or flooding in a particular area. That's not in this bill. Those are two projects that help not just local governments, but farmers and everybody who works on the land. The other thing I would just want to mention that I noticed there's a change in language where you are suggesting that LCCMR put a priority on certain things for the next go around. And I look at that, and that's on page 38, members, and it said, any request for proposals issued by the Commission shall clearly indicate these priorities. And the priorities are two, RIM, and then on line 6, activities that preserve or enhance fish, wildlife, land, air, water, and other natural resources that otherwise may be substantially impaired or destroyed in any area of the state. That's a great priority, actually. But in this bill, you cut 2 projects that meet this priority. So I'm not understanding what this language is supposed to mean. The SNA is cut by millions, and the prairie easement program is cut by 800,000. So if you would help us understand why you put that in as a priority and then cut the very projects that match the priorities exactly. So with that, members, as we have this discussion on LCCMR and learn more about the science that is included in this bill, I would ask that we, when we vote on adoption, we do it with a roll call.
Roll call being requested, and seeing 15 hands, there will be a roll call. The member from Ramsey, Representative Becker-Finn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to clarify because I've had a couple questions here. So one of the changes, and it was not that long ago that we had this before us the first time, the Expanding Raptor Center online education for the U of M project was added back in, but I did want to clarify that that is not the same project as the project I spoke about a couple days ago that would deal with lead in ammunition and its effects on raptors and outreach to hunters. So those are different projects. We're still doing nothing in this bill to address the problem of lead, a toxin, in our environment and its effects. Again, that would have been a really good project that would push us in a good science-based way of dealing with this ongoing issue. Overall, we're still, we don't have the climate change items in here. We don't have the lead items in here. So we're still there's a lot of politics in what is in and what is out, and unfortunately, a lot of the projects that were recommended that have to do with really good science have been left out, and so I still find that really disappointed and would still encourage a no vote.
The member from Hennepin, Representative Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So as I look through this, I see that under the environmental education, the amount of money for increasing diversity in environmental careers was cut by $1 million. And I'd like to ask if the author will yield, please.
He will yield.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative, could you tell us where the money have gone to?
Representative Heintzeman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Appreciate the question, Representative. I think you're referring to some of the dollars that have gone from projects specifically that were in the original language or the original bill. And what we have had to do is make an adjustment to try and fund what I think is a priority. The governor has indicated that CREP is a priority, and so those dollars have been transitioned over to that particular line item.
Representative Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Representative Heintzeman, in both the House and the Senate bill, the funding was at $1.47 million, and I was just wondering, how did we lose that going into a conference committee, and will the author yield, please?
He will yield. Representative Heintzeman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative, each of these line items, as we came to them, are hard choices. And I think that we visited a little bit the last time on the floor. There's projects here that I wish were back in. And one of the things that we did, and I think that this is important to mention today, is that we added in the bill, if you look on page 37, line item 37.1 through 37.9, we opened up the schedule for those items that have not made it into this final bill so that they can be able to reapply in spite of the deadline having already passed. So there's an opportunity for those projects that are currently out to get back into the next cycle for the LCCMR bill, which they otherwise would not have been able to do that.
Representative Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, over the last few days, we have been debating how we should fully fund higher education or workforce. How do we close the disparities in the state of Minnesota with regards to economic opportunities for everyone? I believe that going forward, we should not have cut the $1 million in trying to increase the diversity in environmental careers, and I think that this is not right for us. Thank you.
The member from Brown, Representative Torkelson.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members. As a past member of LCCMR, I thought it'd be important that I make a few remarks. First, I'd like to also thank the citizens that serve on LCCMR. It is quite a dedication and time-consuming work, and I thank them for what they do. Also like to thank Representative Heintzeman, who stepped up to carry this bill without a lot of experience on LCCMR, and he's done a great job in a very challenging work that needed to be done. You will note that there's a large block of funding going to what is a current need, and that is in the CREP program. The CREP program is something that came up late and requires a lot of money to be successful. So we have been pulling money from a variety of programs, including LCCMR, Legacy, and others to really gather together enough money to get this program rolling. And I think that is absolutely appropriate. But to the problem of picking projects, Picking projects is difficult work. There are more projects available more projects that apply than we have money available to fund them. But to pretend that all the politics only happens here on the House floor is a little bit of a stretch, because there certainly is some politics that has happened within the LCCMR committee itself, and that has to do with the selection of the chair. In the past, we've always selected a chair from the majority party because they have a few more votes than the minority party, but this last year that changed. It was done differently, and I think that had an impact on the project selection and how the committee operated, and we have changed that for the future, so that should not happen again. But just remember that the LCCMR's work are recommendations, they are not requirements, and the legislature does have the final say and has the authority to do what it feels is appropriate given the circumstances and the urgency of the days. So with that, I urge everyone to vote green, and again, thank Representative Heintzeman for his hard work.
Seeing no further discussion, Representative Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I'd urge a red vote on adoption. Here's an opportunity to send this back. There's still a little bit of time, and the reason for doing that, even though it's the dark of night, folks, we're near the end. There's an opportunity here, and why? Why do this? The reasons are similar to when this bill left the floor. The provisions, the projects, and I hope I wasn't hearing with Representative Torkelson that there's some type of, because of conflict on the council, we're having consequences in this conference committee report. I hope that's not what we're hearing, but the same things get removed. It's the same things that get removed if a project deals with climate, like Will Steger's bringing young Minnesotans together to talk about climate change, is in as a project, it's removed. If it deals with solar, and I know when this bill left the floor earlier, Representative Garofalo was mocking solar robots. We had that whole discussion. Solar-powered robots. That's removed. And as Representative Becker-Finn mentioned, if it's a study about eagles eating lead, that's removed. Year after year, same things get removed. Now, I will give credit for the work that was done in the conference committee because there's less removed. But there are still those items removed. And if Representative Heintzeman would yield, I have a question about one of the items that I think was added in.
He will yield. Representative Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative Heintzeman, it appears there's a provision that was added in that is very similar, if not exact, to a provision that was in the Ag Bill about pollinator habitat research to the U of M. Could you just explain what that is, if that's a duplication, or is it in addition to that appropriation that was passed earlier?
Representative Heintzeman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and Representative Hansen, I appreciate the question. You know, partway through session, my spot on the floor changed. And I have to admit, I wasn't necessarily sure how I would like the change. He does. And over the last few months, I've noticed a few things. For example, Representative Mason, you always have the prettiest lipstick. You really do. Representative Becker-Finn, I was just commenting how well you always seem to put the mic back into in its placeholder here. And Clark Johnson, I've learned not to try to talk into his right ear. If I can catch him on his left ear, we can have a pretty good conversation. And I've come to really appreciate the diverse opinions that I might not have heard directly next to me on the other side. And it really isn't any nefarious intent. Representative. We're just trying to figure out a way to put more money into that particular item, as well as so many others that have come through. And CREP is a high priority. We've talked about it time and time again. So I hope that answers your question to some extent.
Representative Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Representative Heintzeman, I think you're saying it's an additional amount of money than what was in there, so that that particular one-time money is going to be double than what was anticipated. A head nod would be fine. Okay. And I know Representative Cornish, it is in the dark of night, we're getting late, so I would encourage a red vote on adoption.
There being no further discussion, a roll call being requested, the clerk will take the roll on the motion to adopt. Mariani votes no. Clerk will close the roll. Ansel Mo votes aye. There being 85 ayes, 47 noes, the motion to adopt prevails. The clerk will give the bill its third reading as amended by conference.
Third reading, Senate File Number 550, as amended by conference.
Third reading. Further discussion. Member from Nicollet, Representative Johnson C.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And, you know, I want to thank the opportunity to work with Representative Heintzeman on this bill. And I've learned a lot about LCCMR in this session, and, you know, I've concluded it really represents a lot of what makes Minnesota really a neat place to live. It represents our shared values and commitment to our state and to our environment. And its citizen focus is especially important to me, and it's really about citizens looking forward in innovative ways to make this state just a better place to live. I share with my DFL colleagues the selective removal of projects which seem to be focused on climate change and solar energy. But I gotta say that I will be voting for this bill because it is a good bill. It left the House floor. It's a better bill today than it left the House floor. And I compliment the work of my seatmate. And I also want to thank him for including Minneopa State Park. Minneopa State Park, this bill is going to give us a chance to buy some land to expand Minneopa State Park outside of the city of Mankato. And, you know, they added the DNR put a bison herd into the Minneopa State Park a few years ago, and it's really revamped this park and given a lot of life to it. We need a little more space, and, you know, those bison take up some space, and it's going to make it a better park. And what's making it a better park is what the work of this legislature is doing, but really what the citizens of Minnesota are doing. And so this is a good bill. Let's vote for it.
The member from Dakota, Representative Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. The debate during adoption highlighted some of the same issues that we'll probably see again: climate change, solar projects, and lead consumption. But Representative Lee brought out something new, that in both bodies there was a provision for increasing diversity in environmental careers. And it was from the trust fund to the Commissioner of the Natural Resources to cooperate with the Conservation Corps. And we know that the Conservation Corps of Minnesota is a good program to encourage a diversity of students to pursue careers in environment and natural resources. Through internships and mentorships with the DNR, Board of Water and Soil Resources, and Pollution Control Agency. And that appropriation, when it left this body and the other body, was for $1.487 million. And it came back with $1 million gone. $1 million taken from that program. And that's not right. So that's one more reason to vote no. Now, there are good reasons, as Representative Johnson mentioned, to vote yes in here. But here it is, with little over an hour to go, and we don't know, at least some of us don't know, what's going to happen with the Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program, in which pots of money are going to fund which things and how. I understand that you have the dollars here, but the good purpose does not justify the changes that were made in this. So I hope we will see, and I know Representative Heintzeman and Erdahl are not on the floor, but I hope there is a robust Conservation Reserve Enhancement provision in a bonding bill, the proper place to pay for that, because that's where it's been paid for primarily before.
The member from Hennepin, Representative Wagenius. The member from Pope, Representative Anderson P.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. Just a real quick question for Representative Heintzeman, if he would stand for a question. On page 17 of the bill, there's a provision beginning on line 19 for study of roadside habitat for pollinators and bees, going to the Departments of Ag, Natural Resources, Bowser, and Transportation. Just wondering if that's going to be looking at state highway right-of-ways or county roads or township roads, just where is that going to be targeted to?
Representative Heintzeman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sure. If you would possibly check with, I have Amy Zipko in the corner here. It would be great if you could just check with her. She's had quite a bit of time to look at all these projects, and there's some detail there that she could fill in for you.
The member from Roseau, Representative Fabian.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, I just want to say a thank you to Representative Heintzeman for the great work he's done on this bill. I think that the changes that the conference committee and others have made have been very beneficial and brought a good bill forward. We saw that on the motion to adopt. And I would also say that there's a lot of good projects in the bill, and I think that some of the priorities on the new emerging issue with the CREP and so forth, I'm glad that we were able to get that done. And to my good friend from the Mankato area out of Fargo, let's hail the bison. Thank you, members.
The member from St. Louis, Representative Metza.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Representative Heintzeman. I've voted red on this many times tonight. I'm green. Members, I ask you to join me. And in the spirit of compromise and getting out of here, hopefully we can finish more work tonight. Thank you.
The member from Crow Wing, Representative Heintzeman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would just say vote green, but I have one other thing I have to do. Last time I brought the bill to the floor, I committed a grievous error. I forgot to thank a couple of folks that have helped me through this process, and as Representative Torkelson has said, there's a few elements here that I've needed some help with, and Ms. Zipko has been absolutely critical to this coming to the floor and being the bill that it is, as well as Harry. I can't pronounce your last name. I never can, so I just say Harry Miracle. Thank you for the time that you've spent into the wee hours helping to get the bill into the shape that it is. Thank you again. I'd appreciate a green vote.
There being no further discussion, the clerk will take the roll. Clerk will close the roll. There being 84 ayes, 49 nays, the bill is repassed as amended by conference and its title agreed to. Conference committee reports on House files.
Conference committee report on House File number 1443. This is the Loonan motion. Conference committee report relating to commerce. The report is addressed to the Honorable Kurt L. Doudt, Speaker of the House, the Honorable Michelle L. Fischbach, President of the Senate. We, the undersigned conferees for House File number 1443, report that we have agreed upon the items in dispute and recommend as follows. The conference committee is signed by all three conferees on the part of the House and two of the three conferees on the part of the Senate. Loonan moves that the report of the conference committee on House File number 1443 be adopted and that the bill be repassed as amended by the conference committee.
I recognize the author, Representative Loonan, to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. We came to an agreement on this insurance fraud bill, and the changes that we made were two. First of all, in front of the word attempted, we added intentionally attempted for clarification. And then when we talk about the administrative fine that we can administrate to the people that are convicted of committing insurance fraud, that the fines have to be based on a reasonable basis and have to be well documented. I ask for a green vote.
Discussion to the conference committee report. There being no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion to adopt the conference committee report, say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Motion prevails. Clerk will give the bill its third reading as amended by conference.
Third reading, House File number 1443, as amended by conference.
Third reading. Further discussion, Representative Loonan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. This is a great bill. It empowers the Commerce Department to go after the bad guys, and when they do catch them, the guy we hang buys the rope. I ask for a green vote.
Further discussion. Seeing none, the clerk will take the roll. Clerk will close the roll. There being 131 ayes and 2 nays, The bill is repassed as amended by conference in its title. Agreed to. Calendar for the day. First bill on the calendar for the day is Senate File 1354. Clerk will report the bill.
Senate File number 1354, number 1 on the calendar for the day, an act relating to local government, the first engrossment.
I recognize the member from Hennepin, Representative Flanagan, to introduce her bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So this bill is a fairness bill. It amends an 80-year-old statute that is clearly out of date. Under current law, if you work for a fire department in a city that is under a civil service commission, there are no restrictions on your political activity. However, if you work for a fire department that is under a civil service commission, you are prohibited from donating or soliciting donations to a political party or for political purpose. So there's very few fire departments that are still under the purview of a civil service commission. The great majority of fire departments are simply an agency of municipal government, like all of their other departments. Why should one set of firefighters doing the same work as other firefighters be treated differently under the law? The bill corrects that inequality and treats all local firefighters the same. This bill also makes a couple of administrative changes that make the fire department more efficient. It gives them 90 days to fill a vacancy as opposed to 30 days under current law. And it also removes the requirement that they have to meet on the first Monday of each February and that they have to meet in City Hall. So this bill would allow them to set their meeting dates and would allow them to meet in the fire hall, which is clearly more convenient for firefighters if they so choose. This is a bill that's good for our folks, who are the people in your neighborhood folks, and I would hope that members would support this bill. Thank you.
There are no amendments at the desk. The clerk will give the bill its third reading.
Third reading, Senate File number 1354.
Third reading. Discussion to the bill. Seeing no further discussion, clerk will take the roll. Clerk will close the roll. There being 119 ayes and 14 nays, the bill is passed and its title agreed to. Representative Pepin.
Mr. Speaker and members, I move a recess to the call of the chair.
Representative Pepin moves a recess to the call of the chair. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. No. Motion prevails and the House stands in recess.